Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Here I am. I'm going to be talking about the second week in September. So I'm talking about September 8th through the 14th. And what I'm doing here is I'm placed right in front of my computer, and I'm going to be telling you about where the planets are moving, especially and specifically relative to the moon. The moon really does give us day in to day out activities of what we can be feeling and experiencing in our daily lives, what we're feeling, what happens. But if you really want to know how it's going to affect you in your personal life, remember to sign up for my Galactic Planner while you can still get a free month. Go to galacticplanner.com and you will get the first month free. You don't even have to sign up for it after that, but I think you're going to love it and you're going to want to keep it. What it does is it figures out all of this according to your natal chart, and then it puts it all in your calendar so you can be better equipped to follow the stars daily. And while you're at my website, galacticcenter.org, remember to check out my Patreon page. Become part of a spiritual community. And furthermore, to really be part of our spiritual community, study with me. Go to universityofvedicastrology.com and become my student. Let's get going now. How is the month of September going to fare for us? Let's start out with September 8th. Now, looking at September 8th, the moon is still in Libra, but it's in the latter parts of Libra. So it is in the nakshatra called Vishaka. And Vishaka is really the most strongest minded nakshatra of all. People that have planets in this nakshatra, they are so ambitious and driven. They're going to make things happen. So that's what the feeling and the sense is for most all of this day, because the moon is Libra and in Vishaka most all of this day. And with this, we still have Venus K2 in the 12th house from the moon. So it's a time when people or lovers or feelings from the past concerning love come into your life. And like I said, this could even be dreaming of someone from your past. But something about love and romance and maybe the things you need to correct with it will come up and be in your mind. So the Sun and Mercury at this point are in the 11th house. This is a day that you can go out and meet new people, find new friends, but all at the same time with Mars being in your 9th house, this can mean some issues or problems concerning your father. So if your dad's still around and you guys are not getting along so well, kind of keep clear of him because it's not going to be good. There'll be more arguments. Jupiter in the 8th tells me there's so much about psychic intuition that's coming through during this day. This is a really good day to stay on top of it. But Mercury is not so much in a great aspect with Neptune. So be aware there can be a little bit of deceit and deception swirling around you on this day. Let's go to September 9th. September 9th, we have the moon that rolls into Scorpio today. And Scorpio is not the moon's favorite place to be. It's actually what we call debilitated. So it's weakened in this sign. But it is in the nakshatra called Anuradha. And Anuradha is actually the nakshatra that deals with friendship. So it's a time when you can find some camaraderie with others. But I want to say the moon in Scorpio can sometimes be a little harsh, and people can be a little bit too judgmental and sometimes jealous. So be aware of that. But Venus K2 is in your 11th house. You might run into some old friends that you really cared about in the past, but don't be surprised if they aren't a little bit too critical with Venus being in Virgo. And all at the same time, If you're wanting to meet somebody, with Jupiter going to the 7th house from the moon, and then today and the next few days is a good time to go out on a date and meet people. But Mars being in the 8th house, you know, maybe I should take that back. Mars in the 8th means there can be some undercurrents of corruption or people wanting to take advantage of you. Be aware of that. Okay, so let's move to September 10th. So September 10th, we have got, the moon is still in Scorpio, but it's in the nakshatra now of Jyeshtha. Now, Jyeshtha is a very powerful nakshatra. Actually deals with, I always say it's the nakshatra of manifestation, because people that have plenty of planets in Jyeshtha, let me just say this, they get what they want. They manifest it. It happens. It's an incredible nakshatra for manifestation, but it also deals with the darker side of things. And actually they say that this is the nakshatra of black magic. So be aware if someone is not, you don't feel right about somebody, then stay away, because this is what this can reveal. But I will say this, on the lighter positive note, Jupiter's opposed the moon. And that's usually a great advantage. I love Jupiter-Moon oppositions because it's a great time to meet someone, irregardless of Mars being in the 8th house. It's still a good time for relationships. If you're in a relationship, you'll find your partner can be more loving, more caring, and likewise, give back what you receive. So that's what this day is beautiful for. Meeting friends, and things are going okay in the workplace, I'll say, with the sun being in the 10th house from the moon today. So let's go to September 11th. So the moon will go into Sagittarius midday, and it will be in the nakshatra called Mula. And Mula is a difficult nakshatra, but the moon in Sag, people are always, well, let me just say this, they're very opinionated. Sagittarius is a sign of strong opinions, in case you haven't figured that out. But Mars is aspecting the moon by opposition. So this isn't a day of that people are very agreeable, especially Mars being in the sign of Gemini. People aren't very kind with their words or the way they think. And Mars being 7th from the moon can mean problems in relationships. So if you feel like your partner's coming at you, just let it ride till the moon leaves Sagittarius, okay? But it's here for 2.5 days, so let's get a handle on things and be careful. But the moon also, here we have Venus in the 10th house from the moon with Ketu. Things are changing around the workplace. Be aware. And it's probably due to females in your workplace with Venus being there. Now, the Sun and Mercury are sitting in the 9th house. It's a good day to read some spiritual books, some new literature, learn new things, be more creative with your learning process during today's day. And all at the same time, I know Saturn being in the 3rd house from the moon, if you have brothers or sisters for the next few days, lay low there, or either they might need your help, but there's something that's just not connecting you with your siblings during these days. So Mula, though, is the nakshatra that can deal with destruction. So be aware that people can be very self-destructive when the moon is in this nakshatra. And I'll tell you something else about this nakshatra. People cannot take criticism. So be very careful about what you say to others on this day. Now let's move to September 12th. And so September 12th, the moon will be in Sagittarius, very, very strong, middle of Sag, and it's going to be in the nakshatra called Purva Ashada. Purva Ashada is about finding the truth and truth seeking. And sometimes they say, but you know, the moon goes here every single month. It's going to go through all these signs and nakshatras. But Purva Ashada actually means declarations of war sometimes. So I wouldn't be surprised if going on out in the world with everything all heated up with Mars opposing the moon, there couldn't be some fighting, more intense fighting going on in the world. But don't make that about your personal life. So steer clear of arguments with others and know that your partner can be a little demanding, and maybe you feel a little attacked by them or that they're super critical. And be aware that brothers and sisters may need your help, but don't be sucked into them draining your energy during this time. Okay, let's move to September 13th. So September 13th, let's see, we have got Mercury is in a difficult placement with Rahu and Ketu. So this is, it's an intense time about how you think. Be careful and don't let your mind control you. That's what I need to say, because it will. Be more in control of your thoughts. Don't all of a sudden jump to the negative response. Now, the moon is still in Sagittarius for most all of the day, but by late evening, it's going to shift into Capricorn. So that will be probably around 7 p.m. Central Standard Time that the moon moves into Capricorn. But before that, and the whole time, today and tomorrow, the moon will be in the nakshatra called Uttara Ashada. And Uttara Ashada is very determined as well. It's all about finding truth and being real. And just remember, you won't get away with ever telling a lie while this nakshatra is strong. So you got to tell the truth while the moon is in this nakshatra. And another thing is, I am looking at the sun will be in, the sun and Mercury are in the 8th house from the moon once it goes into Capricorn. So let's go ahead and go to where the moon goes into Capricorn. This will be Friday. It's still Friday the 13th. Well, I just said it. It's Friday the 13th. No wonder. The moon goes into Capricorn around 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And when it's there, I just want to say it's going to be approaching Pluto. And this is a very intense time. So things are starting to get more intense be more serious. The economy is really going through a difficult time. While the sun and Mercury sit in the 8th house on Friday the 13th, that evening. And again, when I do move to Saturday, let's see, I'm going to go to Saturday, the 14th. Then we do have the moon. Between Friday and Saturday, the moon will cross over Pluto. That is really intense energy. Talk about control and manipulation. You got to be careful that people don't try to control your mind, control what you're thinking. Be careful. So Pluto is about control. But by the time we pass Friday the 13th and we're well into Saturday the 14th, we have the moon in Capricorn, and it will be this whole day pretty much in the nakshatra Shravana. And it will be past Pluto. While it's in Shravana, past Pluto, things improve, feel better. They do feel better. Why? Because Shravana's symbol is an ear. It's time to listen. Don't be trying to do all the talking all the time. Listen to what others have to say. That's how you learn. When you're trying to do all the talking, you don't learn anything. And it's best to sit back and just hear what others have to say. The whole time the moon is in Capricorn, though, the sun is in the 8th house, and the 8th house is very difficult. So I get that there's a lot going on globally in the world around the 14th of September. So this will conclude the second week of September. Be careful of what's going on this day. And get ready for the third week. But for right now, the second week, there's so much going on. And I think I'll close right now. If you want more information on me, go to galacticcenter.org. And if you want to study with me, go to my university website, which is universityofvedicastrology.com. Thank you.